Okay, here we go. All right, here we go.
You are recording?
Yes, I'm recording now. We're online. Okay, so law of sines versus law of cosines. Okay, so when do we use the law of sines? We use the law of sines. Okay, let's start with cosines, because law of cosines is definitely you use it for SSS when you have all sides and no angles, and if you have SAS. Okay? Law of sines, pretty much think of it as every other time, try to use the law of sines. Okay? You can, but most often we use it for ASA or for AAS, which is really the same thing. For ASS, you have to be, this one is special because this one, it works, but it's going to give you two answers and you have to be smart about knowing which is the right answer. It's an ambiguous case. So, you know what? I would avoid using this for ASS, or yeah, if possible, try to figure out another way, okay? But this is for sure going to work for AAS or ASA. What can help you remember this? Law of sines, we have two angles. Law of cosines, we have two sides or more, right? Okay, so let's start with law of sines. Okay, the law of sines says sine of A over sine of B equals sine of B over, sine of A over B equals sine of B over B equals sine of C over C. So let's try an example. Let's see. Oh, before we do that, let me ask you guys this. This is Joseph Medina's packet. I'm not sure why I have it, but I do, and I'm glad I do.
Check my missing and it's still missing.
Okay. All right. That's why I have it. Okay.
Don't cry, don't cry.
Okay, so yeah, that's right. Okay, so it says you can use the law of sines on only one. Which one? Okay? So let's take a look. Let's try A. Do you think, what do we have for A? We have a highlighter. Okay. All right, fine. We have, what is this? Side, right? We have an angle, and we have another side. Right? Oh, yeah, sure. That's not a highlighter.
It is.
Thank you. Oh, what a sweetheart. Okay, both of you. Okay. This is so cool, you guys. Look at this. Okay. That was mine anyway, wasn't it? Oh, it was yours? Okay, so what do we have here? SAS. Right? Hey. Okay, we have SAS here. SAS is not going to work for law of sines. Guess what? If I were to try it, I'd have to do sine of who? 22 over what? C. That's fine. Equals sine of what? Do I have any other angles? So let's say I do sine of A over who? Sine of A over 6. But what's the problem with this? I have two variables. I have an unknown C and I have an unknown A. Can I solve if I have two unknowns? No, so I can't use that one. Okay? What about this one? What do I have here? I have S. No angles. Can I use it for SSS? No, because if I were to try, I would be like sine of A over 6 equals sine of B over 8. Well, look, I don't know what A is or B is, so that one doesn't work. Okay? What about for C? What do I have here? I have a side. What else do I have? An angle and another angle. So is this ASA or AAS? It's AAS, that's right. Does the law of sines work for AAS? Yes. How could we set it up? Sine of B, 78 over what? Which one? 8 equals sine of 22 over C. How many unknowns do I have? Which one? The C. So I could figure it out by cross multiplying and doing that, right? Good. All right, no, we're not going to do it. What about this one? What do I have here? I have angle, 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 triple A. Can I do it? No, because I would set it up like, okay, sine of 80 over A equals sine of 78 over B. And then what? I have two unknowns, right? Okay. So you guys get it? It only works for what now?
So in that case, for question B, will that be undefined?
So yeah, cannot be determined. Okay? So law of sines works for what, you guys? ASA and AAS. Okay, so let's look at number 1. What do I have here? Side, angle, side. So that's not going to work. Okay, what about number 3? Side, side, side. Okay, what about number 5? What do we have? Angle, and we have side and angle. Okay, so we have angle, side, angle. So can we use what? Law of which one? Sine. So let's set it up. Okay, I'm going to set it up like this. Sine of one of these two angles. Let's just start with 49 over what? Oh, wait. What are they asking me for? They want me to find ST. So ST is my X. Okay? So if I do sine of 49 over SR, is that going to help me? No. But that's still true. Sine of 49 over SR equals sine of 23 over what? X. But I don't know what SR is. So what? Now I'm stuck?
No, you add the
Can I find that other angle? Because I know two of the angles. 49 plus 23 is 72. And the whole triangle angles have to add up to what? 180. So 180 minus 72 is 98. Right? Or is it 108? 108. Sorry. 108. No, I don't. So that's going to be sine of 108 over 34. Okay? Now which one do I not need? This guy. Now I have a proportion. Okay? Now what should I do? So does everybody see how we got this proportion? Are you comfortable with that? Now I need to solve for x. So I'm going to multiply 34 on both sides first. Okay? I multiply 34 on both sides. Then I'm going to get 34 times sine of 23 over x equals, the 34's cancel, sine of 108. Okay? Now what can I multiply to both sides? What do I want out of the denominator? My x, right? I know you guys just skip to cross multiplying, but I hate cross multiplying, so I'm not going to do it anymore. Okay? Because I think it's bad. It's a bad habit. It teaches you bad things. Well, it's in itself it's fine. It's just that you guys get confused with other stuff. So, okay. The x's cancel out, and so we have 34 times sine of 23 equals x times sine of 108. You agree? Yeah? Basically, if we had cross multiplied and said x times sine of 108 equals 34 times sine of 23, we would have gotten the same thing. Now to get x by itself, what should I do? Divide by sine of 108 on both sides. And you guys see how I keep the parentheses there? It's because I don't want you to think that sine is different from 108, like it's one entity. So then these cross out. Oops, these don't cross out. No. So x is going to equal this, right? And you do that on your calculator. And what do you get, Marcos? If you do 34 times sine of 23 divided by sine of 108.
34 times 23?
Mm-hmm.
Divided by what?
Sine of 108.
13.9685267
How many decimals do you guys need to accurate? 3. So 13 point what?
968.
968. What's after that?
5267.
Okay, 9685. So what should I do with this 8? Bump it up. So it's 13.969. Okay, no. That's not accurate to the thousandth decimal point. Okay? So 13.969. Okay? that okay? Yes.
You know when you were multiplying, why did you multiply 34?
Because it was in the denominator and I wanted to get rid of it in the denominator.
So then when you multiplied it to the 49, why did you cross out the whole? I think you should have done that.
This?
Yeah, why did
Yeah.
we're used to it.
Okay, fine. I didn't need this one.
She was looking to get
Yeah.
Also, you just used the ones you needed to put
Yeah.
variables.
Because you know how with the law of sines, it gives you three. It gives you three ratios, but you only need to use two at a time. Sometimes you could use those two, sometimes you could use those two, sometimes you use those two, you know? So I want you guys to do number 6 on your own. You don't have to get all the way to the decimal since you don't have calculators right now. At least get to this fraction, okay? Right now, quickly, 1 minute. Yes. I'm going to give you guys the factorial expressions practice that you could take home. You're welcome. But the answers will be on Schoology, okay? Because I don't have enough paper to print answers for you. I'm going to silently do it over here so you can check your work. Come on, Chris, try this. Are you stinky?
That's what I did too.
It's just like the one we did. Okay, did you guys get it? Okay, so let me tell you what I did, okay, if you're stuck. Okay, so the talking should stop now. Alright, so I had angle, angle, side, so I know I could use a law of sines. Okay, so I have two angles, I have one side. They're asking me to find KP, so that's going to be my x. Okay, so what's important when you're starting, guys, is you have to figure out which angle is across from which side. Well, x is across from which angle? The 115, right? And then the 31 is across from which angle? The 46. So you see how that's how you figure out which ones you're going to use. This one, because they're across from each other, and these ones, because they're across from each other. Okay? So when I set it up, the sine of this angle 115 over what? The x, because the x is the side across, equals the sine of 46 over which side? 31. So the first step is knowing how to set it up. If you don't know how to set it up, then make sure you try do some practice until you figure out how to set it up. And again, on Schoology, I posted even more practice problems for you to set it up. Now what? Cross multiply. X times what? The sine of 46 equals 31 times the sine of 115. So you got up to here. You just cross multiply. Yeah? Chris, are you watching? Cross multiply? Yeah. Now if you want to get x by itself, what should you divide on both sides? Sine of 46. And once you do that, x is by itself, and then the answer is 31 times sine of 115 over sine of 46. And if I don't give you a calculator and you just leave it like that, that's great. In fact, maybe I should just do that. Yeah? All right, cool. All right. So Now let's look at law of cosines. What is the law of cosines? The law of cosines says it's basically the law of cosines from your flip book is just like the Pythagorean theorem, but it's for triangles that are not right triangles. It's c squared plus a squared. C squared equals a squared plus b squared. But you guys, make sure you memorize it correctly. Please don't come to the retake not having memorized the formula. It's minus, not plus, 2, not 1, minus 2ab cosine c. What's the important part about a, b, and c? Does it matter who's actually called a, b, and c? No, but what matters is that this c is a side that's across from that angle c. Okay? When do we use law of cosines? For SSS and SAS. Okay? Alright, so let's look at number 1. What do we have here for number 1? We have a side, angle, side. So this is SAS. So therefore we're going to use what? The law of cosines. So I'm going to write it c squared equals a squared plus b squared, whatever. But this time we're not going to use a, b, and c. We're going to use x, y, and z. Okay? This is good practice for us. So which is the side we're actually looking for? YZ. So what should we call this? Well, this is the side we're looking for, but it's across from which angle? X. So I'm going to call this X. Okay? So I'm looking for X. So X squared equals what? X squared, this side squared equals this little side squared. Okay, wait, what is this side called anyway? If this is big Z, then this side has to be little z. If this is big Y, this is little y. Okay, so the formula should be x squared equals what, guys? Y squared plus z squared minus 2 what? YZ times cosine of what? This cosine the number after the cosine has to be the capital of the one in the front. Okay, you guys see that? So x squared equals y squared plus z squared minus 2yz cosine x. Now let's start plugging in. Are you guys cool with that?
Yeah.
Do we know what this little x is? No, that's what we're looking for. Okay, what is y? 17 squared. What is z? 10 squared minus 2 times y times z. So it's 17 times 10 times cosine of what's the x? 25. Okay? Hey, this one's going to be easy because look, everything on the right side are just numbers, so I could plug this into the calculator. Okay? So can you guys go ahead, or Marcos, help us out. What's 17 squared?
17 squared is 39.
And then 10 squared is 100 minus 2 times, what's 17 times 10, guys? 170. And then cosine of 25. Let me ask you this. Can I simplify 289 plus 100?
No.
Why not? Okay, 289 plus 100 is what?
389.
389 minus 2 times 170 is 340. Okay? Now let me ask you this. Can I do 389 minus 340? No. Why not? Because you have to do multiplying before you do subtracting. So Marcos, tell us what's 340 minus cosine of 25.
308.
Really? Perfectly?
0.142.
308.142. And then if you subtract it from 389, what do you get?
80.9.
80.9. 9 what? 9. You can't round off too early. That's going to create a rounding error.
Oh my God.
Okay, we'll say dot, 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 okay? And then if you square... Wait. Okay, is that the answer?
No.
What do you have to do? Because that's x squared. Did I ask for x squared or did I ask for x? I asked for x. So x is going to be what? The square root of that, which Marcos is? No. 9. No, see, that is when you create a rounding error. You know, it's like playing telephone. Instead of me telling you the actual message, if I just round off the message and then you tell it to him and then he rounds off the message and he tells it to her and she rounds off the message, the end message is completely different. Okay? 8.99? How many accuracy do I need? 3. But you're going to get the wrong 3 numbers if you round it off too early. Okay? So, is it what? 3 what? 8.994. Thank you. And what's my units? Is it squared? It's asking for x. Is that an area or a side? A side. Is a side area? It's just miles. Okay, that's almost 9 miles right there. Okay? Which makes sense. If this is 10 miles on this side, this should be about 9. If you got 90 and this picture looks like this, you should know something's wrong. Right?
Miss, for the minus 340 and cosine 25, multiply or subtract?
Multiply. This one you multiply, but this you subtract. Okay? Who's got a red? Oh, I have a red pen. Okay, let's do this one because this one's a little different now. What is this? SSS. What do you do with for SSS? Law of cosines, but it's going to look different, y'all. It's going to look different. Okay? So, first of all, what are they asking me to find? Angle C. Okay, so which side is side C then? 11. Which side is side B? Why? Because it's across from the angle. Which one is side A? 17. So since I'm looking for C, I'm going to actually put C squared equals what now? Tell me. Well, let's say A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of what? Capital C. Okay, so do I know what C is?
Yes.
It's 11. 11 squared equals, what's A? 17 squared plus 10 squared. Hey, these are like the same numbers almost. Minus 2 times AB, so 17 times 10 times cosine of, do I know what C is? No, so that's my unknown this time. So before, the one that I was looking for was X. Now what I'm looking for is C. Okay? So 11 squared is 121 equals 289 plus 100 minus 340 cosine C. It's very similar to before except for some major differences. Okay. Write what I wrote. I just simplified. 289 plus 100 is 389. 2 times 17 times 10 is 340. 11 squared is 121. Now you guys tell me, can I subtract 389 minus 340?
No.
Why not? Because there's a cosine C there. So what can I do? Subtract 389 from both sides. Okay, that cancels. What's 121 minus 389, people? Negative 268. Thank you. Okay, equals negative 340 times cosine of C. Now what, people? Oh. Why not? What's the inverse of multiplying? Dividing, right? And the beauty of that is that who's by itself now? The C is not by itself yet, but the cosine of C is by itself. And what's negative divided by negative? Positive. And now I have this fraction, and I'm not even going to waste time trying to reduce that or make it a decimal. I'm just going to keep that. Okay? Okay, it is 0.788, but we don't even need that. Okay, so did we find our C yet? No. Is C by itself?
Attention students, this is a reminder that the blood drive is on Wednesday, and the last day to sign up today is at lunch. Thank you.
Okay, is the C by itself? Who's bothering the C? What happened to the C? It got what? It got cosigned. How do you uncosine it? You inverse cosine to both sides. Okay? I had cosine C there, but I inversed it. I had 268 over 340 there, but I inversed it. What happens to... What happens to C if you cosine it and inverse cosine it? Cancels out, so who am I left with? Just C. And in your calculator, you have to do the cosine, and the way you write it is very important. Do the cosine inverse of 268 over 340, what you get? If you're in degree mode.
268 divided by what?
340. And how many degree accuracy do you need for angles? No, for angles you just need 0.1. So 52 point what? 0. What comes after the 0? 0.2, so it's just 0. And so that's 52 degrees. Okay? If you want to do another problem like that, try number 4. Wait a minute. we didn't cover everything, did we? We didn't cover law of sines, and we didn't cover. Actually, watch the way I set it up. You see, the way my life is set up here is. Okay, this was an example of law of sines SAS. This is an example of law of cosines SSS. These are two different types of law of sines. This is an area triangle problem. On the back are all the odd numbers are different types of special right triangles. All the evens are like a repetition. Get it? So I could go over this more in class tomorrow. However, the test is tomorrow, the retake. So if you want more help before that, come to tutoring. Yes, the retake is tomorrow. And the answers to this will be on Schoology tonight. Okay?
And the answers, miss, we're just gonna have to leave them with the little fraction, right?
Wait, we're supposed to do the pledge again? But since excuse me, tomorrow, let's make sure we do it right, yes? Okay, thank you.